Hi, welcome to a new video. Today I'm very excited to be reviewing the Rose Inc Skin Enhance Luminous Tinted Serum. I have two shades because the first one I bought, which was 20, worked okay, but it was in the dead of winter and I was very pale. It leans a tiny bit cool, which I knew would be a little bit light for me in the spring and summer, so I did pick up number 30 as well, and I will show you the comparison of the shades side by side. It's such an interesting product. I don't have anything like it. I've never tried anything like it before. It's another one of those skincare makeup hybrids. Some of the ingredients that they highlight are sodium hyaluronate. There's squalane in here to add hydration. And there's also a peptide in here that provides environmental protection. I have used them kind of sporadically over the last couple months. Something I learned is that this does not look good if you have dry spots or flakes, or if your skin is just not exfoliated properly. It will cling onto dry spots and really accentuate that texture. So for the past couple months, anytime I wanted to use this, I had to make sure that the night before I used like a chemical exfoliant and I was really hydrated. And even this morning, because I knew I was going to use it today, I used all of my very soothing, hydrating products. I used the First Aid Beauty Oat Toner, the Aveeno Oat Serum, the Aveeno Oat Gel Moisturizer, and for sunscreen, I put on the Alley UV Gel, which is my favorite sunscreen, and it wears really nicely under makeup. So the skin is very prepped, and that's very important for any makeup look, but especially with this tinted foundation serum. I'm just gonna show you the method that I found works the best for me. First of all, you do not wanna use your fingers with this. These little beads have to be kind of broken by the bristles of a brush, and then it disperses really evenly across your skin. If you try to just rub it in with your fingers, the beads don't pop properly and it gets really blotchy and uneven. The pigments just don't really mix with the watery serum that they're submersed in. Because this is water-based, if you have on skincare underneath that has a lot of oil ingredients or waxy ingredients, it's also not going to sit very well on top of your skin. I opt for a gel cream because there's a high water content in gel creams. And for my sunscreen, that's something I consider as well. I go for something that's a bit more watery, that just kind of melts into my skin. Hard to show because it's very runny, as you can see. This is shade 20, which is a warm peach undertone for light skin tones. That is shade 30, which is a warm golden undertone, also for light skin tones. 20 does match like my neck the best. Because my neck is the palest part of my body, you know, if I'm wearing a tank top like today and you can see my shoulders and my chest, which has a bit more of a golden color, my face, it just doesn't look right. My perfect shade is actually just mixing these two together and figuring out a custom shade. I'm just gonna blend in these two swatches that I have here. So there is the product blended in on the left side of my face. And using a brush like this is my preferred way to apply this product. This is the e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. It's decently firm, almost like a kabuki brush, but because there is that little slope, I just find it glides really nicely across my face while bursting the pigments and distributing it. And I find it works best pumping it into your hand. I kind of smear the product on the brush and then go directly on my face. I like to kind of stipple it on to deposit the coverage where I want it and bring it down to the neck. I tend to use about one pump for one side of my face. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't really feel like I have any makeup on my face. It certainly gives you a very radiant and glowy finish. Sets down decently after a couple minutes without feeling dry. And I'll zoom in to show you. Forehead looks pretty good. It evens out some of the hyperpigmentation and acne scarring. It doesn't kind of cover it completely, which is to be expected. It's just a light coverage foundation, but it evens it out to a point where I'm fine with that. Between my brows and along my nose where I have larger pores, it collects just a little bit. So in the summer, 30 is definitely my best shade, and then I'll kind of use bronzer and blush to give my face more color to match my shoulders and the rest of my body. I'm actually gonna take the Rose Inc Cream Blush in Heliotrope with an angled kabuki brush. I always take my foundation brush and just feather out the edges. This is a tip if you also have acne scarring, especially on your cheeks, and you find that blush sometimes brings it out, or you're scared to wear blush because the acne scars might become more pronounced. And there's just some dark areas that can look a bit shadowy. So a tip is actually to conceal after you do your blush. So I do my foundation or tinted serum, foundation, whatever, and then I'll do blush, and then I'll go in very, very lightly with a concealer, and I usually will put some on my hand to start, and then I'll take my foundation brush, get like a very small amount on the brush. If I wanted to, then I can add a bit more blush, like kind of carefully avoiding the part where I have acne scars. But honestly, this summer, I'm just trying to embrace my natural skin texture a bit more. I think in day-to-day life, when you're just like talking to someone, no one's really looking for your acne scars or noticing it. And if they do notice it, what's the worst they're gonna think? So there's my base done, and I usually skip highlighter when I use this because the base is so glowy. And if your skin is combination or it's summer and you might get a little bit shinier than usual. And I set just my T-zone with a bit of loose powder. And this is the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. It's a pretty decent size. It's 5 grams, and it was in this year's Sephora birthday gift. So I just really just set my forehead, nose, chin, and then sometimes I'll just do my. So I will check back at the end of the day to show you how well it wore. So my feelings towards this foundation are generally positive. I appreciate how kind of cool the formula is, but I do find it a bit finicky, especially if your skin isn't in the best condition that day, or if you don't happen to have a brush that works really well with a foundation like this, you would then need to purchase a separate brush. So it can be a little bit high maintenance. From a price perspective, it's pretty up there, very comparable to other high-end foundations like my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. The coverage, again, light to medium. It covers more than I thought it would, especially being like a tinted serum. It sets down nicely, which I was pleasantly surprised by, and it leaves a nice radiant glow on your skin. Going back to how finicky it can be if you have dry spots, if you have acne, just anything on your face that needs a bit more attention, it doesn't glide and set as smoothly on those kind of areas. I think you can make it work, but you might just have to be more careful and mindful of the products you use underneath and how you apply it. If you like taking your time with your makeup and being very methodical with it, maybe that's okay. But if you just like to kind of slap something on rather quickly and not have to think too much about, oh, can I use this foundation today and what do I have to wear underneath so that it'll look good, you might want to skip it. But it's so beautiful, and I know it's so beautiful, and that's why I was drawn to it too. I think if you're in the market for a luxury skin tint, I love using this on kind of that in-between glam look. I'm not really going for a no makeup look, not really going for like full coverage glam, but it's a nice middle ground, makes you look really radiant and put together, and like you have something on, but it's not heavy, it's not cakey, it just makes you look really nice and glowy. If I want my makeup to last all day, this isn't the foundation that I would gravitate towards. I like my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation better for those days. But if it's just kind of an easy breezy day, I'm not gonna be exerting myself too much. For example, today I'm working from home, I have some meetings, and then I'm going out for dinner with my family. Cream blush wears beautifully on top of this. It just kind of melts in with the foundation, with your skin, and gives you a really nice radiant kind of look. With translucent powder, you know, it takes away a bit of that glow, but you still kind of see it underneath. All in all, I'm really glad I tried it. I'm really glad I have it. I will enjoy every last drop because it is quite pricey and it's kind of like a special product to me. I've heard it's comparable to the Chanel foundation that has a very similar kind of formula, and I'd be interested to try that one day. We'll keep you posted if I do. I hope this was helpful if you're trying to decide if you want to give this foundation a try, or if you're wondering about shade. I hope the shade comparison was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.